edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a Monday, and once again, it is the Barnes and Tony show. How you doing, my friends?
I'm doing great, man. Stoked to be back here Monday. It feels like forever, honestly.
It really does.
Since we've been here on Thursday or Friday. Friday. It's right,
Thursday
dude.
or
Thursday.
Friday
What doesn't
or
even
Thursday.
matter,
It was
dude. It was
Friday.
early. I don't even care. But yeah, dude, great weekend. Mohegan, watched Mike film some of the games, dude. Watched some good basketball. And then yeah, man, didn't lose my shirt, over the weekend. So I chalk it up to a win.
Yeah, there you go. So love to hear that, and a lot to go over. It was interesting. I was just thinking about this. Figure we always start with like a food conversation, so might as well. So it was Saturday, Sunday. A couple people were over. Betty was over both days, and he's been big, actually, like you, which is kind of funny. I've almost found more respect for this whole. You know how you have your thing with your like
The cheese.
How do you know I was gonna say it?
I mean, obviously, it's what it is.
Well, all right. But anyway, so we start on Saturday. It was like one of those things where we ended up going to tomato later on. But just to kind of get us through while we're watching college football, we just get a large cheese from Pepe's.
Yeah, we go.
Great. And it was funny too, just like you. Like we all liked it, but like Benny mentioned it first, and it did make sense where he was like, could have been a little crispier.
Yeah.
Everything, but great. So we do that. It was actually a great food weekend. You would be proud. So we did that. Then we go to tomato, which I've mentioned to you before. The wings, the nachos. Matt was actually there too. Oh yeah,
the video,
the pictures. And then the Pappardelle, Tony, with the short rib again.
Oh, the short rib.
Matt got it. He was like, we almost ran it back. It was that good. So we had that. Then we went to Fiddlers on the Green, the pool. Me and Matt, dominant pool. The only loss we had, I scratched on the 8-ball, but I was like sniping shots, like just so into it, riled up. Like,
love it.
So that was great. So then yesterday, again, we're like, we're gonna probably get something bigger later. Want something to hold us over now.
Right.
So we go Sally's delivery, large cheese. And like with gave him the 20% tip, but then there's a $5 delivery fee. So large cheese, and it was like 38, okay?
Oh,
and then
my
pizza
God.
was probably like, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15% smaller than the Pepe's, it felt like, and it was like 15-inch or whatever. So it was just kind of one of those things like, okay, this is good, but it's like, and Pooch has always been big on this. I don't know if you feel like this with Sally's. Wait, have you had Sally's or no?
Yeah, of course.
They don't put enough cheese on. Like, I don't know
They
why.
are, yeah, I can see,
Like, I get it. Like, we don't want to overdo the cheese, but I never understand, like, we're skipping on cheese. And they have their tomato pie. So it's like, this is the tomato pie with mozzarella. Like, what are we doing? So overall, like, it's not like I was, like, that pissed. Like, it did the job, filled me up, all of that. But I just don't get how you skip on cheese, though.
Yeah, that's tough, dude.
And it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, that pizza's good, but at the same time, now moving forward, we're never gonna feel like we want to go out of our way to get Sally's.
That's a shame, dude.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, honestly. I would be, because I had Pepe's over the weekend as well, and I was, medium cheese because the pie's big, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like I was pleasantly surprised in how good it was.
The Pepe's.
The Pepe's.
At Mohegan.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, that is a good Pepe's.
It is a good Pepe's. Great Pepe's.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize they had another like little smaller Pepe's in the arena, dude.
Yes.
Which was
I've
pretty
had that
cool,
before,
dude.
Yeah.
A
slice, dude.
A slice,
Wait,
dude.
just
A
want a
slice, dude.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, again, I was pleasantly surprised. And actually, Renee and I had gotten pizza in town Friday afternoon or maybe
What was the
Saturday
place?
afternoon. It was called Nino's in Montville, maybe we were in at that point, or maybe we were still in Uncasville. I don't know. But that pizza was actually pleasantly surprised at how good that was. Dude definitely was from New York. Seemed like it.
Oh, okay, that was working.
Yeah. And we got a pepperoni slice with honey hot on it. which was solid, so good. And then a grandma's slice, like the square, like the specialty square. And listen, like we were sitting there, I was like, wow, this is really good, like for like where we're at. But then, like that night, we did the Pepe's, and it blew it out of the water.
It's so
it was
weird
like,
that you said blew it out of the water. I was literally just about to ask you, well, didn't Pepe's blow it out of the water?
It did, and it wasn't even like, and we got the Pepe's plain, but it was just like the taste, the ingredients,
the crust.
Exactly, the crust. It was perfectly cooked. Okay,
yeah.
So that was great, dude. And I'd be interested to see, honestly, because I'm normally more of a Sally's guy, but I haven't had Sally's in so long, and maybe it's a recency bias, but it's interesting that you brought that up because maybe I should try Sally's again. Maybe
And I don't know if like the
readjust.
toppings would have made it better, but I know you like it's like judge a character. How's your cheese pizza?
Yes.
So it's interesting though because I've had it other times. I thought it was like it's pretty good, but definitely think Pepe's is better. I have to say that. And then we finished it off Sushi X. To finish off the weekend.
Holy shit, dude.
And that was great.
A food bonanza.
Yeah, that sounds great. But now it's like the fast until Thanksgiving dinner, Tony. That's for sure.
Would you go to sushi though?
Sushi, so
tempura
I always
roll?
just get the firecracker technically. It's like the tempura, but then the crab on top.
Because you don't actually do the raw fish stuff,
everyone
right?
else does, and I just get my couple rolls of that, and then the miso soup, the edamame, the crab rangoon, the rock shrimp, the chicken katsu, Tony, the chicken teriyaki, dude.
So we kind of had like similar because we had Chinese food as well. We had pizza also,
like for different spots.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So that was good. Just wanted to mention that. And what does Josh B want to mention?
He wants to mention, yo fam, what up, dude? He says, happy Monday. Rough season of picks for us in terms of him, the TCA group there. He says hashtag Dave Do. Hashtag sports
I can't believe
DTV,
though
dude.
Kev Do is taking it that hard. I mean, he was so bolsterous last year, and now it's like he just gives up, like he's silent. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems like both him and Josh B are busier, dude. So, and then obviously on top of that, they're losing. So I'm sure they're the losing, demoralizing. Yeah. We're emphatically winning, dude. Yeah. Speaking of winning, Michael Thiefel says, goats, dude. He says, you're lucky you got to see Matt. Haven't seen him in like 25 days. LOL. He looked like, dude, he was playing pool pretty well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
dude.
me and him.
That's sick, dude.
Yeah. No, I feel like I'm a shark now. I used to be so bad at pool.
Yeah, it's funny because you said that, and that one time we played at freaking Norwalk, you were like slapping some balls, dude. So it was,
like I was doing well.
Yeah, you were doing really well.
Wait, I'm trying to think.
This was probably like 3 years ago.
Oh, you're talking
dude.
about Alex's Lounge?
Yeah, Alex's Lounge. Yeah, dude.
Oh, yes,
dude. Yes.
Just the thrill of competition, Tony. That's
absolutely. Speaking of the thrill, Michael Bucktus is Barnes. The only reason I would go to North California, is for the ball game, then stay Pebble Beach, then drive straight away to Santa Monica / Disneyland. Says shout out to some old boys, Josh B and Kev Do. And then he says Northern California not appealing. We do not like Northern California, dude.
This guy.
How about the old boys comment though?
Yeah,
little scud, you know?
I mean, at least we weren't included in that, but still. I mean, Michael on his high horse, I feel like.
I guess so, dude.
And as like he mentions, like it's like, yeah, I mean, overall, sure, not much appeal there, but like he also mentions though, like the Pebble Beach, definitely would want to check that out. And then also like University of Stanford too, I'm sure is beautiful as well. So you gotta pick your spots. You gotta pick your spots, Michael. That's
absolutely, dude.
But yeah, so a lot to get to. Let's jump right in to the world of the National Football League.
He wants Jefferson, climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson, the catch of his life.
Burrow fires, intercepted. Picked off at a pick six. Minka Fitzpatrick, an absolute ball hawk.
Niners twist up front and get to Tagovailoa. Bosa again. Mahomes escaping on the move, stops, spins, flips it forward for the touchdown.
Stop it.
Aaron Jones. Oh, what a tackle. Quincy Williams with a pile driver.
All right, and also a couple comments trickled in while we were loading up here Tommy says, "What's up, gents? Rough showing by the Rangers in Edmonton. Let's bounce back tonight. Let's go Rangers." And then Josh B says, "Thanks, Butka." Crying emojis, Tony. Crying.
Oh man, that's tough.
But should we just start, Tony, with the run or not?
The run, yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, obviously it's the Giants, whatever, but still, the emphatic victory, Baker, okay,
Evans back.
dude, making fun of Tommy Cutlets with the celebration, dude.
Yeah, because some people were tight about that. I mean, what'd you think?
Why? No, like get the fuck out of here.
That you
dude.
said you heard him like post game saying about he hasn't done a 23andMe. He's not sure if he's part Italian.
Yeah, dude. Listen, I think at the end of the day, especially coming from Giants fans, I'm sure a lot of them thought potentially like,
oh, we could beat the Bucks. Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Tommy.
Tommy.
Somebody in the group chat, like they're all Giants fans except me, and they literally like, oh yeah, I picked him up. Like I thought he could provide a spark for fantasy.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Literally, like that's so stupid, dude. Yeah. And it was just not competitive, dude.
Yeah.
It was not competitive game. Baker absolutely having a great time with it. I mean, that guy is such like I don't know, man. That guy could be a poster child for the league, dude. And I forget what play it was or what exactly happened, but he was throwing out a lead block downfield, like unbelievable, dude.
Yeah,
like,
the Baker
run,
dude. I mean, this might have been the start of the run. A 30-7 beatdown. They led 23-0 at the half. You look at Baker overall, 24 of 30, 294, no touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. But how do you win this game? You run for 4 rushing touchdowns, 4.9 a pop for 156 yards, and he welcomed back his top target in Mike Evans, 5 receptions for 68 yards. And obviously the defense did their job, a defense that I think was 30th ranked coming into the game.
wow.
But just did an outstanding job here. And, while it is, the Giants, I think like you were saying, maybe the fans saw, like we could beat them. They're banged up. We're due for a win. But the Bucs clearly showing, they're far better than the team that coming into this game had lost 5 out of 6 games, which is, pretty shocking. But, I mean, you understand all the guys, that they were down and Evans back just makes such a big difference in the way that this team can run the ball too, because, having, not only Rashad White, but Bucky Irving really running with authority. Lee even had a touchdown as well. It's like they have a lot of options back there. So Baker playing as good as he ever has. And then, we've talked about this in regards to the run. Obviously they pick up this win, and then it's Panthers next week, home to the Raiders, the tough game at the Chargers. Well, at Cowboys does seem easy on Sunday Night Football. We did see them finally win yesterday, so you never know. But another game with the Panthers and the Saints, and with the Falcons looking like they're going in the wrong direction. When we first mentioned the run, Tony, like it seemed in a way somewhat of a long shot / we're having a good time with it. But
Yeah.
But now it seems like it's more likely than anything.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the Falcons too. I mean, obviously a lot depends on what they're doing, but I mean, you're one game behind them at this point now, so it's like, and it seems like your schedule could be a little bit easier. But if Baker continues to play like this, I mean, if your defense shows up, if you have that versatility out of your backfield, I think Bucky also, he also had like 60 receiving yards too out of the backfield as well.
6 catches, 64 yards.
Like there we go, dude.
Yeah,
like
147 yards from scrimmage.
And I mean, not for nothing, like Mike Evans, I know first game back, like looked good, like led the team in receiving yards, but it wasn't anything like extravagant, like he didn't go off by any means.
But his presence on the field, I think, opens it up for everyone else.
Absolutely. And he's still like, he's going to have that game where he gets 150 yards, 2 touchdowns, And I mean, again, with Baker being as gritty as he is and everything like that, I mean, the personality, the atmosphere, the attitude, it's going to be a hard stop. To defend against this Bucs team with the momentum kind of in their favor. And I think people are also like, they're aware of the run, dude. They are aware of it.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Absolutely. So, by the way, I said Lee, but I meant Sean Tucker, the second year back out of Syracuse, undrafted. He had the rushing touchdown as well as Baker with the rushing touchdown.
So sick.
So, the opportunity of a lifetime here for the Bucs. And, we did see the Panthers give the Chiefs a fit, so you never know what you're going to get there. And it was funny, too. And I guess we'll talk about this game next, which was completely nuts, to say the least. But going into the Cowboys-Washington game, Benny, was over the games, and I was kind of like laughing. I'm like, dude, the Cowboys are so bad. And he just kept saying, but dude, it's a division game. It's a division game. I was like, no, there's no way. And then what do you know?
They
score
fucking
41 points combined, though, in the fourth quarter. I don't know if I've ever seen that. This was a game that had 6 points at the half. But I've just never seen, and at the end of the day, the Cowboys do win 34-26. But I've never seen the sequence of events that we saw at the end of this game. And it, started with the the Robert Turpin return touchdown, but then you had the throw to McLaurin, where it's like, oh my God, like they just need an extra point to tie the game. Oh, maybe they'll go for 2. There's 20 seconds left. I thought they were gonna go for 2. And then he just it's a bad snap, and just everything was out of sync, and he misses the extra point. So then it's like we're down to an onside kick, and it's funny. Dan Quinn, he's very intense and stuff. He's like, I don't know if you saw this, but on the sideline, I saw him mouthing we're gonna fucking recover it, all jacked up like that. And then the Cowboys returning for a touchdown. But then it was funny too. They were talking about how really should have slid, but a touchdown's there. You're not gonna give it up. But then of course, Dallas unable to get anything to. I mean, not Dallas, but Washington unable to have another miracle in their hands. But I mean, an unbelievable victory here for Dallas. Obviously, they needed it, and of course, everybody feels they're gonna break this team up and fire the coach, this and that. But just from the way their season was going, I'm sure the players, it feels good. And it is kind of interesting too. What a feeling the Washington Commanders had just 3 weeks ago at 7-2. Now they've lost 3 in a row, and they're 7-5. And we know that Jaden Daniels is playing through something. I mean, he had a pretty good game. Did have the 2 picks. But ran for 74 on the ground and a score. McLaurin, most of those 102 receiving yards on that bomb touchdown in the fourth quarter. But what do you think here? I mean, it seemed like they were pretty much a lock for the postseason, but is it like maybe everybody kind of got ahead of themselves and this could be a sign of further struggles to come?
I mean, maybe, dude. I mean, I think, for maybe the first time in a long while, Cowboys defense kind of played up a lot. You saw Daniels, he had to go to a lot of checkdowns. So it seemed like that the Cowboys secondary was kind of taking care of business in terms of covering some of the Commanders receivers. And of course, those 2 picks don't help Daniels. Like you said, I think he is going through something, maybe some
rib injury,
freshman year jitters. Maybe he's not 100% right now. But I mean, I don't think it's going to be signs of trouble to come. I think it's going to be signs of we're going to see a bounce back. Commanders are, got a good coach, obviously great quarterback right now. So I don't know. I would anticipate the bounce back. And if you're the Cowboys, I mean, I guess, like you said, maybe enjoy the victory, but I'll get used to it, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, for this season. But I have to say, I mean, even though they've played terrible overall besides this win, Cooper Rush actually,
not bad.
It looks pretty good.
Rico
Dowdle sucks, though. I think someone was asking Rick and Dave this morning on the Frenzy. They would overreach for Genty, the running back from Boise State, and I know college sucks, ha 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 ha. But have you seen him going up? I mean, it's like I think he already has 2,000 yards rushing.
Really?
Yeah, like 7 yards a carry, type of player. So, everyone was kind of saying they could see Jerry doing that, which I don't know. He's so good, it actually might make sense and just completely change, the complexion, of this team. And it's interesting. You look at Washington's upcoming schedule, home to the Titans. You say, oh, easy win. They did just beat the Texans, but we had talked about the concerns about the Texans, so maybe that's not a surprise. The Saints just had their bye week this week, but obviously feel like their new life, they're the following week after a bye sandwich in, so a late bye for Washington here. And then they finish Eagles, Falcons at home, and then a road game with the Cowboys. So I don't know, Tony. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a given. I mean, it seems like they should make the playoffs and they shouldn't lose, another, they've lost 3 in a row now, but I mean, they shouldn't extend that or, you got 5 games left. I mean, I wouldn't think they're going to lose 4 out of 5, but I think, they have to be careful and they're dealing with some injuries. Austin Eckler, hope he's okay. He had to go to the hospital. He was down on the ground on a kick return, got absolutely leveled. Brian Robinson injured as well, so you're down to Jeremy McNichols in the running back room. So that doesn't help things either.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it is tough looking at, I guess, potentially with the wild card we'll look at, because I mean it seems like the Eagles, I know they were doubted, but I mean they're probably gonna take the East here. Commanders at 7-5. I mean, you got to be careful of the Falcons. The Seahawks are looking like they're warming up a little bit here. You never know what the Cardinals are gonna be doing. So I don't know, man. They could be in a little bit of trouble if they don't fix things quick.
Yeah, I think they're in a lot of bit of trouble.
Really?
And it's like, I don't think regardless.
Are they making the playoffs? Yes or no? Don't even quick.
I mean, the way they're playing, I'm going to say no.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
And then the injury to Eckler, that's not good.
That's a huge
terrible. So and not a necessarily easy schedule left. So you look at it right now, they're in the last playoff spot, but behind them is Arizona, Tampa, the Rams, and the Niners, which obviously some of those teams have injuries or have had injuries. So it just seems like, there's a lot of teams chasing what they're chasing. So I think it's going to be difficult. And for a while, it seemed like they had a pretty good shot at the division. But now you're 2.5 games back. The Eagles look like they're never going to lose again. So I don't think it looks great for Washington right now. So going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Another ridiculous game was the Bears-Vikings, the onside kick, the field goal to send it to overtime. All that went on in that game, but at the end of the day, it was 30-27 in overtime. Vikings taking this one from the Bears, who lose yet again. I think it's a fourth straight loss, if I'm not mistaken. But Caleb Williams actually played one of his best games of his career here. Fifth straight loss. 32 of 47, 340, 2 touchdowns, ran for 33 on the ground. DJ Moore, who's been quiet this year, led the way, 7 receptions, 106. Keenan Allen also had 9 for 86 in a score. But just wasn't enough. Sam Darnold, 22 of 34, 330, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Jones, it seems like when he goes, they win, 22 for 106 in a score. But I mean, at the end of the day, again, this is a division, game. But what was your overall takeaway here? I mean, the Vikings are 9-2. I mean, does this game speak to their vulnerability, or more of just, like we said, the division game?
I think it is maybe more of the division game, and I mean, not for nothing. I mean, I think there was a point where the Vikings, had the back-to-back losses, and people were like, maybe it's just Sam Darnold is not.
And then they've won, 4 in a row? Or is
it 5? No, I think it's 4 in a row. You're right. 4 in a row since then. And I mean, if anything, listen, the Vikings played a great game. Sam Darnold's really good. Spread the wealth around the receiving core, which was kind of cool to see. Addison leading. Hockenson also had a great game. Not just Justin Jefferson, who actually had a really quiet game. But I mean, you said it. Aaron Jones has new life, it seems like, this year. But I think if anything, this game, I don't know. For me, I look at this game and I'm like, well, I mean, Caleb Williams looks like someone who's really developing into a good quarterback.
The people that were jumping on him, I thought that was ridiculous. He's going to be good.
He's
a coach.
Yeah, exactly. And he had, I mean, you said, Darnold 330 through the, he had 340, a little bit more inefficient, I guess you could say. But still, I mean, the 2 touchdowns, no picks, looked good, had a few rushes in there as well. I mean, I think if anything, that's what I kind of take away from this game. I'm not surprised the Vikings won. I mean, good for them, dude.
Yeah, in a competitive NFC, I mean, they're putting themselves in about as good of a position as you could hope for. That's for sure. But unfortunately for them, the Lions are in their division. They have now won 10 in a row, 24-6 over Indianapolis. You look at Goff here, 26-36, no touchdowns, 269, sacked 3 times, but they run for 137 yards. And I think there's some streak going on between Gibbs and Montgomery. It might be 6 or 7 straight games they've both scored a touchdown. Gibbs, 90 yards and 2 scores. Montgomery, 37 yards and 1 score. Obviously the defense holds strong here. Amon-Ra St. Brown's touchdown streak was snapped, but he still had 6 for 62. Jameson Williams led the team in receiving with 64 yards. Everybody's talking about the Lions, first time in franchise history, Super Bowl favorites.
Wow.
It really does seem like just no matter what comes their way, and I know Indy's not exactly the toughest test here, Tony, but it just seems like they just can't be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, their team is deep, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, their running core is ridiculous. You mentioned Gibbs and Montgomery, and I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown also is someone who's just, I mean, his work ethic is, it's hard to beat that, you know?
Yeah.
He was in that show Receivers right on Netflix. I mean, that was his thing. He wants to score touchdown every game. That was his
Always
thing,
open.
dude. Always open. And he is open for a lot. And then I mean, not for nothing. I feel like Jameson Williams obviously also really good. And I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe I can look at Sam Laporta's numbers, but I feel like he hasn't really had one of those games where he goes off either. So it's
because you know what it is? They have random games where they don't throw that much, but then
Right.
other times, Goff throws for 400. And there's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
That's true too.
But that's like a good thing though, because it's like maybe like when Laporta is there, you need him, you can lean on him, and then all of a sudden, you're beating good teams, you're getting those playoff wins. And you said Vegas has them Super Bowl favorites.
I mean,
That's
hard
wild.
to argue it.
It is hard to argue that. And like you said, though, and it's kind of funny, we just talked about Caleb Williams, and the other end of it, Anthony Richardson,
Yeah.
it seems like maybe he doesn't really have it, dude.
But it's like, I think it's,
Do you think it's Indianapolis?
I don't know. What I was saying is like, I still think though, maybe, you have somebody who can somewhat like compete with them. You bring in that could start if you need to in the offseason. Maybe even Geno. And I know like, maybe they make the playoffs, he makes a run, whatever. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel like he's going to be not in Seattle after this year, despite him, looking good recently. But I think Richardson, you have to give at least next season. And then if he's tough, then that's it for sure. But the Lions, we talk about the division game, only a couple of days off here, and then the Thanksgiving opener here, 12:30 on CBS, hosting the Bears. Any chance that this 10-game winning streak comes to a halt here? Divisional game, short week, Thanksgiving, the Turk Dunkin' or whatever it's called, the turkey leg, John Madden.
Yeah.
Any chance? Like the Bears with the defense and,
Any chance? I guess there's always a chance, I suppose. I think it's going to be a good game, competitive, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the Lions. Whether they edge out the win or blow them out, they're going to be winning this game.
How about the Lions, though? They're 10-1, and to finish out the season right now, starting with that game, 3 straight home games, and then at Chicago, at San Francisco, home to the Vikings. Now, and then, it's also after the Bears, you have the Packers and the Bills sandwiched in between. Most likely team to break this winning streak on their schedule. What team do you think it is? Packers, Bills, Bears, 49ers, Vikings.
49ers, probably not. I guess it depends on if Brock Purdy's going to be healthy. Which he's Packers.
Divisional game. Kind of had it close for a second, but then they ended up blowing them out. It's kind of nuts. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a transformation from a coach that we thought was a clown. And it's like, and Rex was almost talking about it today. It's kind of funny. I don't know if you heard any of it. But again, he was, selling himself for the Jets coaching job. I have to say, like, he's such a good actor. Like, he almost had me convinced for a second. But I do think, like, maybe, and it just doesn't apply to him. But I have to say, I do think he had some good points. It's like, you do need somebody in there that like has some fire. That's the problem. There's talent in that room, but if you have no fire, no integrity, you're not going to win anything. So I think that's what it is. They need that type of passion that they did play with, in 2009 and 2010. But I think they can get that somewhere else. Like, because it's interesting, and a lot of people are going to have that on their blacklist that they don't even want to interview for that job. So you're not going to have a ton of people to pick from. But I still have to think, just in the back of my head, I know everybody's very nostalgic, but Rex Ryan, who's been out of the league for 8 years as a coach, I just don't see how like he would be the answer. And a similar type of energy, I think, in devotion and in pride, like, would be good, but I don't think it's directed from him.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would. It's so easy because it is interesting. You said like, he is a good actor. You almost kind of like.
Yeah, no, I swear to God, I almost bought in for a second. I'm like, wait a second.
Do you think Woody is buying in a little bit?
I think Woody, if you fired somebody once, like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, but think about it. I know, like, we always crack up about something like this, but it's kind of like taking the ex-wife back. I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, how many, but that wasn't, like, they didn't actually get divorced, don't it?
But I mean,
no,
the papers were served
after like everything's done, and then you're going back. That's what it is. It's like after 8 years after the divorce, you're going back and reconciling.
Yeah, it's wild.
You know, deep down, it's not the responsible thing to do with Rex here.
No, that's correct. Do you think he even gets an interview though? Interview?
Yes. What would you say? I think because, like I said, there's not going to be people.
I mean, why wouldn't you at least interview him?
But then everybody always says a thing about there's only 32 of these jobs and this and that. But you have guys that know their opportunity is going to come and they don't want to put themselves in a situation that's going to set them up for failure. So that's why I'm very concerned. Like, obviously not that concerned. Like, whatever, it's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's always been a disaster. But it's like, who actually will want to take on this mess?
How many seasons would you say that the new coach has to be successful? Like, we're talking like make the playoffs successful.
Like in the third year. I think you just, you know what I mean? You want to see that progression. Even if next year, for instance, you know, you have a rookie quarterback, you only win 6 games, but you have some exciting wins, you take some teams to the brink, you have a top 10 defense. Those are the type of things that you want to see and that you're not quitting out there. And I think that's the problem with the team right now. There's a lot of quit. And at the end of the day, National Football League, quit. Ungats.
Ungats
not getting
is right,
anything from quitting.
Right? No, yeah, you're right, dude. You're right. You're absolutely right.
By the way, you would have been so tight. I was watching, I guess, I do like the NFL Network pregame show. And McAfee had a guest spot on.
Really?
Looked so ripped. I guess he's a season ticket holder at the Colts, so he's at the game. He's like, yeah. The fans don't really like me here, you know, because I've been tough on the team and, like, you know, I've kind of been, like, supporting the Lions. So, you know, I'm not too popular here, you know. And his, like, eyes are, like, so bloodshot.
Really?
Crazy, dude.
What the hell, McAfee, dude?
But, hey, I mean, he probably lives a pretty good life, no? I mean, just ripped with the boys, like,
he
just
lives a great
horsing
life.
around
Are you
every
fucking
day.
kidding me? Yeah, dude.
So, yeah, I just kind of noticed that. Were you surprised, Tony? I know it was one of our selections, but of the 34-15 shellacking of the Patriots in Miami. Tua, 7 touchdowns, no picks last 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I would say
It's the Patriots.
No, not at all.
Division
I mean,
game.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm aware of how bad the Patriots are, and we said it on Friday. I mean, I think the Dolphins, a lot of people, including me, possibly even you, kind of swept them aside. The Tua injuries, never to come back. If he does, he's not gonna be that great. Tyreek is tight. I don't know what Daniels is doing. I don't know what's gonna go happen. But I mean, not for nothing, he comes back, and I mean he hasn't looked back since.
Yeah.
He's been back as a starter. So and like you said, I mean he's been killing it the past few weeks. So you would anticipate that level of play continues for the Dolphins here. And I mean they're looking at potentially a playoff run.
Like, are they like? Do you want to see the? I mean, they're a division rival, so that's kind of weird. But
I mean, it doesn't
wanna
really
see the
matter. The
run?
Jets aren't good. Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. I would want to see it, dude. I mean, not for nothing. I gotta give it to Tua. The guy is literally out there putting his life on the line. So I mean, let's freaking go. And Tyreek Hill. I mean, say what you will. I guess. I mean, the guy seems to be a little reformed. I guess. Right.
Yeah. Oh, you mean in
like
terms
humbled,
of
the outside nonsense.
Yeah.
Even getting arrested with the car. I mean, I feel like years ago he would have made a whole scene. Actually, been
Antonio Brown.
You literally,
Which
yeah.
I think it was 2-year anniversary of him in MetLife with the jumping jacks. They were showing.
Oh,
that
really?
On Twitter yesterday, yeah.
That's pretty fucking hilarious, dude. That was crazy.
What do you give the Dolphins a puncher's chance at Lambeau Thanksgiving night?
I do. I would give them a puncher's chance. You know, Packers, I know it's at Lambeau. I don't care. I know it may be cold. Miami doesn't do well in the cold, I suppose. But still, you know, we've seen the Packers kind of shoot themselves in the foot before. So, I mean, the Packers just have to be buttoned up. They'll win the game. But if they're not, the Dolphins certainly have a puncher's chance.
And to get into the playoffs here, I mean, they have a really good chance because besides this Packers game, 2 games with the Jets. And then games with the Texans, the 49ers, and the Browns.
Wow.
So, pretty good opportunity here. But obviously, I mean, if Miami's going to have the type of offense they had yesterday with the 34 points and 2 of 29 of 43, 17, the 4 touchdowns, no picks, only sacked twice. The running game wasn't there, but it didn't matter when you could go through the air. And Jalen Waddle, best game of the season, 8 for 144 and a score.
Let's go.
Jonnu Smith, too, the former Patriot, former Titan, former Falcon last year, has never really put up the numbers, but a lot has been made about him in Mike McDaniel's system. He had one of the best games of his season, 9 for 87 and a score, and A-Chain had 2 receiving touchdowns. Hill, somewhat quiet, only 48 yards receiving, but nevertheless a threat every time he's out there. So going to be interesting to see, what Miami does here in the coming weeks, and obviously short turnaround for Lambeau, but that is a tough spot. But then again, if you're somehow able to win that game, then you're really putting yourself, I feel, in the driver's seat to make some noise. That's for sure. Again, Tony, our only, bad pick of the week, the Chiefs, not covering, but winning, 10-1, 30-27 over Carolina in Carolina. Patrick Mahomes, 27 of 37, 269, 3 touchdowns. They ran for 165 on the ground. Noah Gray had 2 receiving touchdowns. But the star of the show, Spencer Schrader, filling in for Harrison Butker. No field goal attempts last week, 3 for 3, including the game-winning kick in this one. Also made the 3 extra points. But the rookie that the Chiefs signing off the Jets practice squad, coming through here to win the game for Kansas City. That game-winning field goal from 31 yards out and put into position by Mahomes again, the last minute, going down the field, big scramble, getting extra yardage, all of that stuff. Obviously, the Chiefs have to feel like they need to be far better than a team like Carolina, and Mahomes even said after the game that he wants blowouts. But, I mean, what did you make of the Chiefs pulling this one out at the end? I mean, I think the offense looked pretty good, but there should be a separation, like Mahomes said.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, and honestly, it really pisses me off, dude. I mean,
the cover, the picks,
the cover. And not for nothing, it's like, why is it that every week, no matter who you play, it's like a tight game?
Yeah,
But why?
I don't think, like, especially maybe other games it was, but this game I don't think it was on the offense. I mean, I think
no, it wasn't on the
offense.
offense.
Well. I mean, 30
but I mean,
points.
it's still like it's got to be something, doesn't it? Like,
the defense, I guess, not getting turnovers, I think, as well. I mean, you would have thought Bryce Young would have thrown multiple pick sixes in this.
Absolutely, dude, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's like, and at that, it's still on the Chiefs. It's on them why they almost didn't win this game. And honestly, I really hope that they continue to win games and they get knocked out against the wild card team. Like, I really do. I guess they get the bye. So, but first round, I hope they get knocked out by whoever it is, dude. I hope it's Cincinnati. Could it be Cincinnati?
Right? Cincinnati would have to win the first game. Plus, I mean, they're only 1 game ahead of the Bills. So,
right. Oh, yeah, it's true.
The Bills need to go on some type of run, even though they really are on the run to begin with. But you get the picture.
No, I get that, dude. You think the Kansas City Chiefs went out the rest of the season?
What's the schedule?
Looks like we are next week here. We are at home against the Raiders.
Win.
Black
Friday.
Friday. And then at home against the Chargers.
Potential L.
Ooh. Then they're on the road against the Browns.
Win.
At home against the Texans.
Win.
On the road, Steelers. On the road,
win.
Broncos.
And then
win.
Ooh. Yeah. No, they're probably winning 14 or 15 games.
So realistically, if the Bills want to be first, they're gonna have to win out.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And also they had a stat lowest point differential, second lowest ever NFL history, 10-1 team, because they've all been close games.
Right.
But I think they've won 13 straight 1-possession games.
They're out first round. First round exit. Chiefs.
But are you actually confident in that?
Yeah, I am confident in that, dude. I'm tired of the bullshit, dude. I don't care, dude.
Tony, I saw it looked like you got heartbroken after the Super Bowl. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I saw it in person.
Yeah,
so
I know.
You're
I was
okay
there.
with jumping into this.
Yeah, I am. First round, exit, dude. Exit,
Well, it won't be
dude.
first round, but it would be divisional
their
rounds.
first game,
Yeah.
exit of the postseason.
Right now, by the way, 2 playoff picture. I was just thinking about this with Miami. So Chiefs are the 1 seed, Bills 2, Steelers 3, Houston 4, Chargers 5. So we would get that Chargers Houston game wildcard weekend. Also, it
That's
would
awesome.
be Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and then the other game would be Buffalo and Denver. Miami 5 and 6, behind Denver for that last playoff spot. So some work's to be done. Obviously, they need some other teams to lose, but they've put themselves at least in the conversation. So going to be fascinating, both conferences with the wild cards. Now I know when I kind of mentioned it to you this to you before, you weren't really concerned, but after the Texans fall to the Titans here, Fairbairn misses the 27-yard field goal. Is there concern now for CJ Stroud and the boys? Because I feel like you were like saying everybody relax, but to me, I mean this spells concern.
Yeah, I mean it's almost another like I guess like Commanders situation,
Yeah.
huh?
But worse though, I think the Commanders would beat the Texans by multiple scores right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there something? You hear me fine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, I mean, a loss like this is pretty embarrassing to the Titans. Letting Will Levis throw for 278 yards.
Pollard carving up the defense as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand, Pollard can give you some issues, but Will Levis, you got to get to him. I mean, you sacked him 8 times. Like, I mean, how do you not, like, how does he still have success?
XLR probably, right? Yeah, no problem. But yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers. Yeah, Levis 18 and 24, 278, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, sacked 8 times, but it doesn't matter. They still win. Mentioned Pollard, 5 yards a pop, 24 carries, 119 in the score. Julius Chestnut, 1 carry for 3 yards in this one. Calvin Ridley, who's been somewhat quiet at times, 5 catches, 93 yards for the Titans. And you look at Stroud, 2 picks, 20 of 33, 247. And the Texans just were not able to run the ball. Mixon 14 for 22. Nico Collins, 5 for 92, leading the way for them as they sit at 7-5. Currently, first place AFC South, obviously helped out with that Colts loss. And you look at their remaining schedule at Jacksonville, home to Dolphins, and then at Chiefs, home to Ravens, at Titans.
They have a tough schedule.
Somewhat tough, but obviously they just are very fortunate about the division that they're in, because Jacksonville's not challenging them. Tennessee's not challenging them. So it just would be if the Colts went on the run, but nothing is pointing to that. So Texans seem like they could win 8 or 9 games and easily have this division.
Yeah, no, it's tough, dude. I mean, I think that the interceptions over there for CJ is going to be like starting to become an issue.
Yeah,
because we've seen some of those picks that are pretty egregiously bad decisions. And I mean, again, in a close game like this, take away those 2 picks, probably all of a sudden, maybe you win this game. So I think Stroud's maybe just like Daniels has a couple things he has to work on, being in his sophomore year here. So I don't know. We'll see. Do you think they end up making the playoffs? And doing
just
a good
because
job?
their division is terrible, and
Right.
the Chargers, I think, will beat them by double digits, I would say,
Wow,
because that would be the matchup.
that would be the matchup. That's a great matchup.
Yeah. And for example, a team that I think that is better than them right now is Denver, and they beat the Raiders yesterday 29 to 19. And Bo Nix, another solid game here, 25 of 42, 273, 2 scores. They only ran for 63 yards, but they sacked the Raiders 5 times, and actually, unfortunately, ended Gardner Minshew's season. The broken collarbone, Desmond Ridder off the pine here. Denver,
And his
after
career.
I think it was 0-3 to start the season, are now 7-5. I mean, I know at times, it's not pretty, but are you starting to take Peyton and the Broncos seriously here in the playoff spot right now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of have to a little bit. Maybe it's just a sign of Peyton, kind of having a young quarterback, molding him slowly, I suppose. Because Bo Nix does look good. I mean,
Yeah.
It looks a lot better than he did in week 1.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
for sure. I guess we'll see. I mean, it is the Raiders, Brian. But obviously, the Broncos have come away with some good wins, I suppose, this year. But I guess we'll see. For me, jury's still out.
And I was just looking on here. So to finish out Monday Night Football next week against the Browns, home to the Colts, at the Chargers, and then Bengals in Cincinnati, Chiefs to finish out the year for them. But you win those 2 games, that gets you to 9 wins. You win one of the remaining 3, you win 10. That's definitely going to get you into a wild card spot.
Yeah, probably. And it's kind of crazy that, the AFC West is turning out like to be pretty competitive there.
Yes. Yeah. And I believe
nice.
I was,
On top of that?
yeah, I think maybe not so much with Denver, but with the Chargers, because I feel like you were telling me before the season, right?
Yeah, I think so. Perhaps.
You don't remember saying that? Dude, I don't know, dude. Against the Chargers. Like, I know it's Harbaugh.
Oh, that's right,
But
Harbaugh.
you know what? I think it's just, I don't blame you. That's just because when he was in the NFL, I think that was kind of where you weren't. No. I mean, he was really good, but I'm saying that was 10 years ago. You're really into it. That he's in college. You're not watching college.
Perhaps.
I'm saying I've watched this guy turn around program after program after program. He's a fucking good coach.
Yeah, no, it does seem like that. And I guess maybe the whole, Michigan scandal thing, too, coming
But
in.
it's college. They're all slime balls. You know what I mean?
Really?
Oh, my. The NCAA, that's
No,
the
no,
most
yeah.
corrupt organization that there is. And just you know what I mean? So then they use people as poster child for certain recruiting rules. Come on. It's like the IRS, Tony. Enough.
Wow.
We saw the Packers put the beat down on the Brock Purdy-less 49ers here, 38-10. And Brock's in the building, by the way, right? Or no?
That's right, yeah, Brock 718.
Been a while. Let's go Yanks.
Let's go Yankees,
Let's
he
go
says.
Soto. And then Phillip, this was from a while ago, but he said,
Giants suck, I hurt inside.
but you shouldn't though, right? Because I mean, they're gonna redo the organization. They're gonna get a top draft pick.
Yeah, they're gonna have
That's
to, dude. Yeah.
What you need.
Yeah.
You need that
That's what
right
you
now.
need, dude. Did you see the interview with Neighbors?
Yes.
That was
Daniel
wild.
Jones
dude.
defense.
It wasn't
the 30
DJ.
to nothing.
Not DJ. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Not DJ. Don't
Yeah.
ask me. Ask
Yeah.
Dave.
But I mean, the coach is done, and it's funny because Mara, who I just think it's funny, talk about I mean, Woody sure is the biggest joke, but Mara is probably second. Earlier this year saying Shane and Dable are safe. There's no way in hell, Tony, that Shane and Dable are safe. That would be, I think, the biggest surprise of all time for me.
I mean, they need to be gone. There's no way they're staying. It's not gonna happen though.
You have to. You have to. But I know it was with Brandon Allen, as Scott Hansen said yesterday on Red Zone. But Packers 38-10, Ernie Rao, Jacobs 3 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, no, you fucking better be, dude. I was kind of surprised though that Brock ended up not playing.
Yeah, especially because they kind of need a win.
Need a win.
I guess they're just thinking, well, I mean, we want him right because if he's out for the season, then we're definitely screwed.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, it's just very interesting, and I don't know if they thought that McCaffrey and Kittle could maybe counterbalance
played
here.
well,
Kittle played really well. Probably had one of the better games of his season.
Yeah.
6 receptions for 82 yards with the touchdown reception there. And I don't know, maybe they're just banking on Jordan Love not having a good game with all the interceptions he's had this year, and the defense maybe scoring a couple times. But it's just that didn't happen really. So.
And then it's
blew it.
welcome back, Brock Purdy. We'll see you on Sunday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's right. His first game back is the Bills. Why? That's not good.
49ers, no playoffs. And they have to play the Lions. What was the other team? And there's one other tough game on here. The Lions and the Dolphins and the Rams. And the Cardinals.
And the Cardinals.
And the Bears. The Bears are bad. Did you ever hear Doggy say that one time?
No, actually, I don't think
Bears, they haven't had a quarterback in 30 years.
so. But yeah, man. I mean, it could potentially here again the NFC West
Shanahan fired?
competitive. No,
I'm kidding.
No. But yeah, they probably will miss the playoffs. I mean, it's tough because the NFC West is really, really freaking tight. I mean, they could end up winning the division.
Yeah, they could, but they have to win
They
in
gotta
Buffalo.
win. They
Otherwise,
have to
they're
win.
5-7. So, gonna be interesting. The Pack now 8-3. You know, we mentioned Jacobs 3 touchdowns, 106 on the ground. He's really been revitalized since coming over from the Raiders. And Jordan Love didn't have to do much, only 163 yards, but 2 passing touchdowns, no picks, only sacked twice. I mean, what do you make of Green Bay? I mean, do you think they can make some noise?
Absolutely, dude. I mean, you mentioned the running game, but I think it's going to start and stop with if Jordan Love can keep the ball in his hands. Because we know the interceptions have been a problem. I think he's leading the league in interceptions.
Is he? I didn't realize.
I think he was tied with 11 at first. Let's see what's going on.
I don't know why I didn't know he had that many picks.
Could I be?
He has 11.
11. Yeah, he was at one point tied in the league with 11. I don't know if that changed since then, but regardless, that is a lot. But like I said, if they keep it in his hands, I mean, they're definitely making a splash in the playoffs for sure. And we've seen them already play well in the playoffs, last year. So I love it. I mean, I think the Packers and Ernie are going to be happy with where their season kind of ends up panning out. Pretty crazy, dude. 8-3 in their third place.
But do you think they're better than Minnesota? I mean, the Vikings did beat them by 2 at home. And they have to go to Minnesota week 17.
I'm going to say no.
You think Minnesota's better?
I think Justin Jefferson is the reason why Minnesota's better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, dude, looking at this is kind of crazy. The Commanders may not make the playoffs.
No, they're not.
Because of the wild card situation.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The Niners run. The Rams maybe run. But probably no Rams run. I think everybody's riled, but I mean, we'll talk about it in a second. But obviously, it wasn't great last night Sunday Night Football. How about the Pack to finish up, though? The game against the Dolphins on Thanksgiving, at Lions, at Seahawks, home to Saints, at Vikings, home to the Bears. I mean, they already have 8 wins, so it doesn't really matter.
That's true. But still, I mean, like,
they're going to win some of those
They're
games.
going to win. I mean,
they're going to beat the Dolphins,
They'll
probably lose to Detroit.
Beat the Seahawks?
I think they beat the Seahawks. I think they beat the Saints. And they probably do beat the Vikings and the Bears. So what are we talking about? They're losing 1 game. They're winning, 13 games this year. I mean, come
on.
Good season.
Ernie.
Got to give it to him.
Yeah.
What a difference a week makes.
I know.
And then let's see here. The only other game of the 4:00 window was the Seahawks 16-6 over the Cards.
Bit of an oddball game.
Kind of an oddball, and the Cards had won 4 in a row. Remember what I said when we did the frenzy? I said, you count on the Cards.
Yep.
What usually happens,
They
Gino,
lose.
before this game said he was the best quarterback in his division, which I don't know.
He said
I
that?
mean, I know he won this game, but I still think Kyler's a better quarterback. I think Brock Purdy's a better quarterback. I think Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback. So not many quarterbacks left, as Dog would say. But anyway, Seattle, it's been kind of a tale of 2 seasons, a 3-0 start, but it was 1 back-to-back games here. First place in the West, and Smith played okay, 22-31, touchdown and a pick. Smith and Jigba had a touchdown as well. Leading receiver 6 for 77. Metcalf 4 for 59 here. What do you make of the NFC West? I mean, we saw the Rams get blown out. The Cardinals only scored 6 points in this game, and then we saw San Francisco get blown out. So, is it possible? To me, it just didn't seem like it at all. But is it possible that Seattle's the best team in this division? I know they're leading now, so it's easy to say that, but.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go with on paper, no. But right now, like you said, they are leading, and for at one point, I don't know, what were they? Were they 4? Yeah, they're on a 2-game win streak. Yeah, so they were at 4-5. They were having a tough time.
Renee,
good morning.
Good morning.
So, I mean, I guess so, but I don't know, dude. I don't think they're gonna win the division at the end of the year. I think it's the Niners, honestly.
Wow.
I think they do go on that run.
They'll run.
I mean, they are, again, you want to look at the roster. They are.
Michael.
What's up, Mike? Thank you. They are definitely the most talented roster, no doubt. They have the experience. They have the coaching. It would be crazy if we're sitting here week 18 and it's Seattle on top of the division. I'm going to go, maybe it's too chalk. Maybe it's but give me the Niners, dude.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
what do you think?
No, I just think
is that the
because
Rams?
of that Buffalo game, I think that's gonna fuck them. I think it's gonna be the Cards, and I know they played
That's
shit
wild.
in this game, but James Conner, what did he have? 8 carries? I think
running a lot.
And you look at the rest of the way
Their
here,
schedule isn't terrible.
the Vikings, the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Panthers, the Rams, and the 49ers.
Yeah, but like, would you not like this division's gonna come down to the last week, probably, right?
Yeah.
So, like the Rams, the Niners, like they're all playing for the division. So it's not. I mean, I don't know. There's only 2 really tough games back to back at the end. I mean, count the cards.
Well, at Vikings, home to Seattle, but then Patriots, Panthers, at Rams, 49ers. It's so tough, but
Like you're gonna be counting on the cards.
I guess, I guess. I feel like if San Francisco, if their schedule was the same, but the next game wasn't Sunday Night Football in Buffalo, I would feel great about it. But I just feel like it's one of those things, too, where we keep hanging on to it, almost like Rodgers when he started to oh, it's this loss, it's that loss. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Next thing you know, season's 3-8. Rodgers is probably going on IR. And probably $49 million in dead cap next year. So I just feel like we can't ignore things we see. And I know we can't take too much of it seriously because San Francisco was playing Brandon Allen. But it's just not great in San Francisco right now.
No, it's so weird to say that, dude.
Because that's all they've been. This is their first game in 30-something games that they weren't favored, San Francisco. I mean, obviously I know with Allen it was different, but they weren't favored before that. So something to keep in mind. And it's funny, too, and I kind of mentioned this to you last week, and you still were kind of lukewarm on it, but I think the Eagles need to be taken seriously as a Super Bowl contender now. Now 9-2, 7th straight win for Saquon Barkley, franchise record over 300 yards from scrimmage, including 255 on the ground, 9.8 yards a carry, Tony, on 26 carries, 2 touchdowns, a 72-yard run. I mean, no pun intended. The Eagles are flying right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's really no way around it here. I mean, the Eagles are becoming somewhat of a powerhouse. And I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, you said it too. I mean, a lot of it I think has to do with the Saquon Barkley, not even on the field, but in the locker room, dude. He seems like you said, one of those guys that can even keeled and can pull a locker room together. And I think that's what's happening here because I mean, everyone's doing great. Jalen Hurts didn't do much through the air, but did enough. Obviously, like you said, didn't need to. Still uses his legs on the ground.
No Devonta Smith.
No Devonta Smith, but AJ Brown obviously picks up here. Dallas Goedert. Yeah, all right, Dallas Goedert.
No, I just mean that.
Yeah, having that guy, target, absolutely. And I mean, listen, I mean, this clearly just starts and stops with Saquon Barkley. You can't really overstate that enough. I can't tell you the last time I saw numbers like this from a running back.
No, it's it's Adrian Peterson.
Ridiculous.
Derrick Henry with the 2,000 yards.
Unbelievable.
But this time, I think, especially because of the quads, you're going to say that you couldn't tackle Saquon. The quads really might trample you today.
I mean, big legs, dude. That's true. But yeah, sure, I can do it.
No, but in all seriousness, with the Eagles, I mean, I'm just saying, I would not be shocked if they, later on in this season end up knocking off the Lions. Not to say that the Lions haven't played better, but we can no longer just dismiss the Eagles going to the Super Bowl as a possibility because Saquon is just really, it's like he should win MVP.
It's so wild, dude. Do you think that at the end of the day, Saquon over the 1-2 punch of Montgomery and Gibbs?
Yeah, right. I mean, that's good, but Saquon,
I know.
It reminds me of AP.
Literally. I mean, the stats would probably put you in favor of Saquon, which is so ridiculous. But hey, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. That matchup would be absolutely outstanding. But it's also who do you think has a better quarterback, the Lions or the Eagles?
So this is, I think I know where you're going here. But yes, the Lions have a better quarterback. And yes, Tony, they have a better coach. I understand it. But, I mean, the Eagles have as much talent, more talent possibly. But they did just lose Braden Graham for the season, the veteran defensive end captain. That's a tough blow. But it's very close. And I'm just mesmerized, honestly, of what we're seeing out of Saquon. And I know there's probably a couple Giants fans watching tight. But it's funny, too, because, I guess you have a different perspective because of with the Mets and the Phillies being the rival, but I just feel like almost every person I know, oh, fuck Philly, I hate Philly, but it's I've never had that because it's I don't have a team direct rival with a Philadelphia team. You want to say the Flyers, I mean, let me know when they make the playoffs, Tony. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I just never had that like distaste for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I kind of did. I mean, again, growing up, again, I was a Giants fan when I was a kid. And, I did have to see, Donovan McNabb and Deshaun Jackson. And I was just, I hated those guys. I did not like those guys at all.
And I never had that. A couple comments actually trickled in.
Yes,
Tony
dude.
thinks he can tackle Barkley. LOL. That's a good one. Michael from the other room.
I mean, people do it. People smaller than me in the NFL do it. So, why can't I do it?
I mean, could Saquon really last like a day at shoe rugby practice? Like, probably not.
You wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah. Hands in his pockets.
Yeah,
go, Pack, go, baby. We were just talking about this. Great win, Ernie. Have to say, great win. Christian Watson, though, dropping that would-be touchdown pass. Didn't look great, but the Packers have plenty of other targets. But that's one thing I have to say. Christian Watson, Ernie, I'm sure you agree. It's been a disappointment, but you got Dobbs, you got Kraft, you got Josh Jacobs running rampant. So things are looking pretty good for Green Bay. What does he say?
Ernie says he's a bum, as in
Christian Watson.
Christian Watson, yeah.
Did you see that?
No.
And it's happened other times. I mean, just literally just right through the hands. Like just no reason to drop it. And not just for Ernie here, but what's your prediction? I know we're early on this, but the Thanksgiving game in Lambeau, Dolphins need the W.
Yeah, I know. It's so tough, dude. I mean, not just for Ernie, I would lean Packers. Lambeau. I think it's because they're at home, honestly.
Yeah. No, I agree. But it's like I'm fully expecting them to win, but just the way the Dolphins have been playing, maybe the weather softens up. It wouldn't be the surprise of all surprises.
It wouldn't.
The Dolphins. I mean, Tua, the way he's slinging it right now, unbelievable.
Ernie said Packers win by 14.
But didn't he say that about the Bears?
Yeah.
What's your thought on the Harbaugh Bowl tonight?
I'm still gonna go Ravens. Let's go. I'm still sitting at the Ravens, dude.
No concerns though.
Yeah.
Defense.
No. Well, again, the game against the Steelers, I guess they showed off some good defense.
Yeah, but the Steelers are the field goal kicking team of America.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's tough, dude. The brothers.
Yeah. Jim's never won. He's obviously tight. It's only the third opportunity to do so, but
yeah, I mean, you can be tight all you want, though. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I think that the Ravens have a better team.
Now, but would you say? I would say. I don't even know why I'm asking you this question, but I mean, obviously the Chargers have a better defense. But you're just saying Lamar better than Herbert, Henry better than Dobbins,
Zay Flowers.
Maybe John Harbaugh has the advantage here with the former Ravens on the Chargers, Dobbins and Edwards.
And honestly, I think McConkey, right, gets shut down. To be honest, dude.
Marlon Humphrey.
I don't know. I'm watching McConkey. McConkey is to me, he looks a little undersized. I know he's a gritty receiver. He sacrifices his body. He grabs, he gets receptions. He's onto the ball. I've seen him take big hits this year and get right back up and keep going, which is great. But I don't know. I just feel like the Ravens know he's going to be a heavy target. And I'm sure not Quentin Johnson. Who's the other?
Quentin. You're talking about Joshua Palmer.
Yes, Palmer. I'm sure he'll be targeted as well. But I don't know. I just think that at the end of the day, the Chargers are going to run out of offensive targets here, to be honest. And I think that Jackson could kind of run a little wild here. And I would say that's the difference.
So it's interesting. I feel like I've struggled with these primetime picks
Tough,
recently. But let's give it another try. It's time, Tony, for a Monday Night Football frenzy.
Let's freaking go. This is probably the game that Brian's been waiting all year for, to be honest. The Harbaugh Bowl here. It's Monday night here, week 12 to end it. In SoFi Stadium, the Chargers, 7-3, 4-1 at home, are taking on the Ravens, who are 500 on the road, 3-3, and they are, of course, 7-4 on the year. Baltimore, -2.5 here on the spread, Brian. The total here is 50.5. which is pretty interesting. And obviously, Ravens coming off that loss against the Steelers. Chargers on that 4-game win streak. They are rolling. Obviously, winners of 4 out of the last 5. Beat Cincinnati 34-27, showing off some good offense. Are they going to have that offensive prowess here tonight, Brian?
Yeah, this is so interesting. I'm really like earning to solve these primetime woes here. Oh, and it's like I just can't get past in my head that the Ravens defense is suspect. So just because of that, and I think close game, first game since these brothers met in the Super Bowl, 11 years ago. So it's been a long time, and I think Jim is just earning for that win. I think this is an all-time classic here. I think it is going to go under the 50.5, but I think the Chargers just slide in there. I could see this game, halftime, maybe Ravens are up, 14-10, call it. But I think the Chargers, second half, get their weapons down the field. I think McConkey actually has a 65-yard touchdown third quarter, Tony. And I think 2 touchdowns in the second half will prevail the Chargers to victory here. I'm going to say they're going to win this one 27-24, and you are going to see the Chargers win on a game-expiring field goal here. Cameron Dicker from 56 at the horn, and you're going to see the Chargers win 27-24. I changed my mind. We're going over on the total.
Wow. Over on the total here. Lack of defense. I guess that makes sense here. I'm thinking a little bit differently here, okay? I think the brothers over here are head-to-head, and I think at first, I don't think anyone really wins. I think it's going to be a defensive game, to be honest, Brian. Ravens step up. Maybe an early turnover by Justin Herbert, but then their defense steps up. Lamar can't score. I'm going to say maybe a scoreless first quarter to Brian's surprise, but then it opens up second quarter more so in the second half. And who starts it off? I think second quarter, maybe late, maybe even midway through, Derrick Henry, 44-yard rushing touchdown, starts to scoring. Then the Chargers score back 7-7 at half. A little bit of a stalemate. Third quarter comes in. It's Lamar's show left and right. He's scrambling. He's finding Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman for a score as well downfield. And sure, Herbert answers. The brothers are going at it here. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be the 2-minute drill. Fourth quarter, it's Lamar, has the ball, couple timeouts. As time expires, I think Lamar runs it in himself. And I'll say right here, the Ravens win this one. I'm going to say maybe 21-17. Give me the Ravens and the under, Brian.
And just like that, that is your Monday Night Football frenzy. I think we all can agree this should be a classic game. That's for sure. So,
absolutely.
Looking forward to watching this later on. But if we could go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Speed, here he comes. McDavid shoots, top shelf, he scores! Captain with the overtime winner! That's the nail break. That's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping, rink wide! Made the full split save.
Are you kidding me?
Turn, side of the net, between the legs, and they score! Filthy! But David Pasternak, the silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
Okay, so definitely no goal song today, Tony.
No.
An absolute shellacking embarrassment in Edmonton. So a West Coast trip that started out with such promise, winning the first 2, and then losing a tough one to Calgary, and then just getting embarrassed. And you let your future captain score 2 goals against you, and you lose 6-2. What the hell was that?
Yeah, dude, it was really nothing good. I guess first off, quick at the start here in this game.
Worst start as a Ranger, potentially?
I mean, probably statistically
Batting
speaking,
practice.
yeah, a little bit of batting practice here for sure. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's very interesting that he got the start, in my opinion.
I think, but I thought we were saying we were expecting this, huh? Like the last game of the
Either
trip.
Edmonton
or St.
at
Louis.
home against St. Louis. And I thought it would be better for the Rangers if they did keep Igor in net for the whole road trip, and then get, give him the night off, even an extra day's rest with the travel day, and then he doesn't start against St. Louis. You get Quick in there. But I don't know, maybe Laviolette thought that Quick, be time to give Igor a rest, and Jonathan Quick bodes well, which he does. Don't get me wrong here. He didn't have an easy feat on Saturday night, facing 40 shots. A lot of them just really Edmonton, I think, showed off how quick they can turn defense to offense, a simple turnover, or even just, giving the puck up, grabbing it in, after a shot, whatever happens. They just turn on the Jets, and just the Rangers' defense has been a problem this year. And I think Edmonton exploited that, and their defense in transition. I mean, there wasn't any defense in transition. That's what it was. I mean, just really any time that you would see, Skinner make a save, and then they get the puck, and then they're already in the neutral zone, and they're behind the Rangers defense already. Just the defense was just never really there, and that's a big issue. I mean, you got to find a way to obviously shut down the talent that Edmonton brings you. McDavid. Obviously the 2 goals and 1 assist. That's your primary guy right there. Draisaitl, he's playing the perfect support player. A goal and assist there. And it just seemed like that the Oilers were just able to do whatever they wanted to do all freaking game. I guess, Panarin finds the back of the net twice, which is great. But where the fuck was that against Calgary, to be honest? Honestly, the Rangers had good offense. Again, I mean, Oilers are a team who also has bad defense. But it just, nothing was good. I mean, you look at these team stats here. Also, I will say, the Rangers, I think on the weekend had 1 power play goal,
Not good?
No, not good at all. I mean, that is supposed to be, it was your bread and butter last year. And against the Oilers, you were 0 for 3 in the power play. You can't be doing that against a team that doesn't have a good defense and not a great goaltender. You got to score when you have the man advantage. And that's just, Laviolette said it after the game too. He said exactly that. They were not good in transition. They knew exactly what the Oilers would be doing offensively, and they just couldn't stop it. So that's a big problem, dude. The Rangers got to step it up. And I know it's crazy. I saw some meme too of like the top teams that have a similar record than the Rangers, and everyone's all happy with the Rangers fans. Are 12-6-1, we suck. Because it is like that. Some of these losses just seem so bad.
They can't be ignored.
They can't be ignored.
Yeah.
I think there are things that you have to point out and possibly address if you're Peter Laviolette here.
Is his seat getting warm?
No. If they don't make the playoffs, then yeah.
But I'm just
they
saying,
are going to make the playoffs.
A couple years ago, I sat here. I was mentioning Gallant earlier in the year, and
Right.
I was poo-pooed.
You were poo-pooed.
No, I'm just kidding, though. I'm kind of kidding, but at the same time, this stuff does seem to happen quick, and it seems like Dolan, especially for instance, let's say they lost in the first round or something, Dolan has a quick finger on the trigger. He does.
As he should, though. There's no reason why the Rangers should be losing the first round.
Or losing 6-2 in Edmonton.
You're absolutely right there, too. They should not be losing 6-2. But nonetheless here, if I'm Laviolette, you address some of the defensive issues, you address the power play unit. What's going on there, dude?
But also, obviously the defense, atrocious. We get it, but can't something be learned too by watching the tape on what the Oilers offense does, and that could maybe we can incorporate that into some of our offensive strategy, because I feel like that's being overlooked almost. The offense has been shit really recently. Too.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like if you get that power play unit going, you're gonna see more pucks fall to the back of the net. It's easy for us to sit here and say do what Oilers are doing. The Oilers have, top 2 players in the league.
Well, and they have more than that, but I'm saying there still is like just a general scheme and creativity with the offense, and I think they're not tentative, and I think that's something that we've been for a while,
Right.
really.
Absolutely, and I don't think it. At the end of the day, I think it comes down to the execution of the Rangers. You know, Laviolette can sit here and draw up these plays. He can tell his team what to do. He can implement, you know, certain mindsets, whatever. At the end of the day, it's these players out on the ice who need to execute. And I mean, the defense is not executing. The offense is not executing. You know, I know you're sitting here doling the quick trigger. I don't think that's going to really solve any issues.
No trades,
you know?
though, will. I think that's something that I think they shouldn't be shy with.
Yes, no, I totally agree. But I think, you know, Laviolette's our guy. He's going to be a coach that can take a team to the cup. He's done it before. So let's go, dude.
But I do have to ask, though, because I do see him get jacked up. Like, he doesn't seem like he's somebody that loafs around like a Todd Bowles, for instance, even though I know he's part of the run and all of that. But you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
But yet, if he is like that, then how do the Rangers still play like this? Does it come on to Jacob Trouba, the captain, Tony?
I mean, again, it's funny. You know, you're on Twitter and a bunch of people, you know, they're sharing that video of Trouba throwing that helmet against that game against the Blackhawks and the Rangers going this run. That is something we need.
Should he just do that tonight?
I mean, honestly, dude.
Throw it at the ref.
And I'm really nervous about tonight, to be honest.
You really think?
St. Louis?
Yeah.
They just got Montgomery.
Jim Montgomery, yeah.
So
also, have you ever seen that? A guy get fired from
So
a
quick?
team? Yeah.
No.
But has it happened
Never.
in the same season? Either like fired from one team and then you're hired by another team within the same season?
Within the same season, I'm trying to think. I don't know for sure, but I've never seen it like.
It must be rare, regardless of anything. Right?
Regardless, very rare. And
Yeah.
then it's just, I feel like literally like I see the notification, Montgomery fired, and then all of a sudden now he's hired. Like, it's just within a week.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, and good for the Blues, to be honest, dude, because Montgomery is a good coach. We spoke about what the Bruins said,
Yeah.
you know, Marchand after the firing, basically blaming themselves on why he got fired. That he's a great guy, great coach. So I think that's going to be definitely creating a spark for the Blues. Not to say the Blues are an incredibly talented team, but I mean, you know, watch out, dude.
I mean, realistic confidence level for you going into this one.
I don't know, 60-40?
And it should be like 80-20 if like the Rangers are playing the way that they normally play.
Yeah, dude. I mean, against the Blues, I mean, they're nothing crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. You know,
Rempe up from Hartford?
I hope not, dude.
No, it's just like, you know, throw a helmet or something.
I guess. Like, why can't I would love to see Panarin score 2 goals that are meaningful, like in tonight's game. You know, like that pissed me off. Like, oh,
Yeah.
it's goals.
Great,
Yeah,
great. Oh, he's having such a great season.
Like, where was that? Yeah,
get your
12
All-Star
goals are
votes
great,
in.
dude. Yeah, exactly. But where the fuck was that against Calgary? You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And again, they had good offense. I mean, you look at some of the shots on goal that, in terms of totals, there for players. I forget where's the game here. Here it is. You know, I think Panarin had like 5 or 6. I think you saw Will Cooley with a few. Panarin had 6. Kreider had 5. Lafreniere had 3. Like that's some of the production you want to see, dude, out of those teams. We didn't see that against Calgary. So I mean, offensively, that's what you want to see. But it's you just got to play better defense. Like against St. Louis tonight, you have to shut them down, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really no reason, dude. There's really
this could be finally,
there's no
especially at
reason.
home. I don't remember the last time we saw this, but like where it's like 3 goals in the first, 3-0 after 1.
That'd be great. Let's go.
Could happen.
Like it should be. Yeah, absolutely. It could happen. And, you know, I would hope that it is. Again, you play good offense against Edmonton. You know, hopefully that can translate well at home against St. Louis here. And again, it's just about coming out here with some fire underneath your ass. Like stop fucking around. Like there's just no time for foolishness, dude.
And do you think too, like let's say they were to like get embarrassed and lose this game, like do you think they need to do something drastic, like option Trouba to Hartford or something? Just to like send a message.
I mean, yeah. I mean, sending a message would be good. I mean, a 3-game losing streak against some of these teams is not good. And if you drop here to St. Louis, I mean, it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
I don't know if Trouba down to Hartford.
No, but I'm just saying like something like drastic. Like I forgot if we talked about this, but did you used to watch Blue Mountain State or no? Mm-hmm. Like where the coach would just randomly start pissing on the logo.
Yeah.
Something like that, you know?
Yes.
Like obviously not
Right,
that,
that. But no, yeah. I mean, again, to the effect of Trouba throwing
like a
the helmet,
shockwave.
like something needs to happen, dude.
Yeah.
Like something needs to happen.
Yeah. So,
Like if they're down 3-0 in the second period, like I want to see Panarin fight somebody.
will you turn it off if they're down 3-0 in the second period?
No.
But it is kind of like it's crazy. Like you said, the record, but we are kind of at a breaking point where it's like it's not quite like this table's getting flipped, but they lose 5-1, 6-2, 7-3. I mean, there's going to be an issue here.
Yeah. And it's just, like you said, too, you start the road trip off so great, dude.
Yeah.
Shut out Seattle. You beat Vancouver. Like, let's go, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you drop the next two.
You owe the fans something tonight at home, that's for sure. And all of us
Absolutely.
watching on TV. So
Yeah.
let's fucking go. And let's do it, Tony. Monday night, Frozen Frenzy.
Absolutely, Brian. A big Monday here.
Lots of games. Take a sip of that coffee, Tony.
Fat slate here. Okay, it was Monday, November 25th.
There he is. There he is.
Ah, tastes good, dude. Let's start it off, dude. We're going to Tampa, Florida, dude. The Lightning at 10-7-2 will be hosting the Colorado Avalanche at 12-9-0. Very interesting matchup here. Colorado minus 105, so the tight favorites there. Over under is 6.5. You look at these two teams here. Lightning on the back-to-back losses. But winners of 3 out of the last 5. Avalanche seemingly finding themselves finally here. They're on a 3-game win streak, beating the Flyers, beating the Capitals, beating the Panthers. 7-4 most recently. I think that was on Friday or Thursday. Doesn't really matter. But nonetheless, dude, they're coming to Tampa with some wind in their sails here. Potentially figure out their goaltending situation. What do you think here, dude?
I like the way Colorado's playing, and I know it's a tough task. Minus 105 makes me nervous, Tony. But I do feel like they're better than the Lightning. And I know coming into the year, maybe people didn't think that. But I love how McKinnon, too, almost pulling a Connor McDavid from last year with a ton of assists early, not as many goals. Maybe he has a couple tonight. But I think actually this ends up being a high-scoring game. But the Avalanche prevail. I'm going to say by the final score of 4-3. So the Avs in the over.
Yeah, very interesting here. This pick here, I do like the over here. Well, 6.5 actually. Now I'm gonna say the Lightning win this one, dude. Georgiev, I'm not sure his status. He was he's still in the IR slated here. Estimated return date is today. He was maybe possibly returning this weekend, but didn't. Lower body, I don't know. But if he returns tonight, I think it could get ugly, honestly, for him. He has not played well this year. I would say Lightning at the end of the day. Kucherov nets one third period late, makes it 3-2. That's your total. Lightning in the under. What's up, dude? Next game. Speaking of the Avs being the Panthers and the Capitals, they're playing each other in Sunrise, Florida. Back-to-back games here in Florida. Look at that, dude. The Floridians, 7 p.m. The Panthers at minus 170 are taking on the Caps here, which is pretty interesting. Washington plus 145. Ovechkin, obviously IR. We didn't talk about that. Broke his fibula, I believe, out 4 to 6 weeks.
Wow, okay.
Which is kind of crazy. Obviously dampered the record, the season, what's going to happen. He's old. Don't know. Over under 6.5, Brian. Without Ovechkin, do the Caps have what it takes?
No. Block of the century.
Yeah.
5-2 Panthers. It's a shame. Good story. Washington. Panthers have also lost 3 in a row right now, but this is where they turn it around. Easy game for them. So Panthers and the under.
Josh B, watch out at minus 170. This could be the best odds for a lock that you get involving the Panthers. Spencer Knight getting the start, by the way, I'm pretty sure. Connecticut's own, I think. So let's go absolutely like Panthers shutout, like 3-0. Why not, dude? So let's go now. Next game here, going to New Jersey. Another game here close to home. Prudential Center. The Devils taking on the Predators, Brian. The Devils here, minus 140, over under 5.5. Devils winners of 4 of the last 5 here. They are on the proverbial roll, dude. Does that continue on this Monday?
Yeah, and it's funny. I like poking fun at the Devils here, but they're way better than the Predators. It's just one of those things we know. We see it. Too old, too slow, all of that. And I'm going to say the Predators are going to go down here. I think the Devils 5-2. So I would say Brat with the Hattie.
Absolutely.
And Devils in the over.
I will echo that sentiment. Devils in the over. Markstrom's been playing well. The Devils play well. I know Timo Meier might be day to day, but it doesn't really matter, dude. Devils in the over. Next game here. Let's go. 7 p.m. MSG, Brian. The Rangers are taking on the St. Louis Blues here. NYR, minus 210 on the money line. Over under is 5.5. Vegas expecting Shesterkin to come in with a bomb here. Binnington also playing well, I'm sure. Rangers working on the back-to-back Canadian losses from the road trip. The Blues surprisingly lost to the Islanders most recently a couple days ago here. They are losers of 3 out of the last 5. Not looking great, but of course, Monty, the coaching change, maybe a little bit of a learning curve here with Monty?
Like the Rangers are going to win this game, Tony. I want to sit here. I want to tell you 7-2, 8-3, 5-0. But I'm sorry. I know how this is going to go. We're going to have to sweat it out. I would not be surprised, Tony, if the Blues score a goal in the first minute. We're down. Maybe we get a Kreider equalizer. We go to the second period. We add a goal going up 2-1. On to the third. Kyrou, a goal to start the third period. 2-2. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And then I'm going to say Artie does get us that third goal, the game-winning goal halfway through the third. So 3-2 Rangers in the under. Should be a lot more of a differential. It's not a win's a win's a win. Rangers in the under.
Yeah, it's tough to argue against that, I should say. Binnington has had good games, obviously. Blues have struggled to score in the past, which is great for the Rangers, but I do think it would be tight. I'm thinking 4-2 at the end of it. Panarin with a goal. Give me Will Cooley again. Adam Fox, goal, 2 and assists there. So let's go, dude. Rangers and the win. 4-2 Rangers in the over there. Let's go. I know I'm so happy about it, but it doesn't really matter. So next game, we're going to Philadelphia Wells Fargo Flyers taking on the Golden Knights. Las Vegas here, minus 140 on the money line here. Total is set at 6.5, Brian. Knights working on back-to-back wins against the Canadian teams, something the Rangers could not do. Flyers just beat Chicago 3-2. Had to do it in overtime, though. Flyers kind of in shambles, but playing okay as of recently. Won 3 of the last 5. They're 9-10 now. But against the Golden Knights, I know Flyers at home. Do they have as you would say, a puncher's chance, Brian?
I think Torts is torching the sweatshirt after the game. I think 5-2 Vegas. Vegas in the over. Flyers, I don't know. I don't know if Torts makes it through the year.
Wow, dude. That would be a shame here. I love the Knights call. I do enjoy the Knights. A lot of talent there. I say it's the under, though. We have 2 good goaltenders, Aiden Hill, Sam Urson, putting together probably some good play there in between the pipes. I say the Knights at the end of the day. Jack Eichel, he's leading the team in points. He's having this breakout year finally for the Knights. Let's keep it going. I'm going to say he gets 2 assists tonight, but he nets that late third period goal to put the Knights up 3-2, and that is your final score. Knights and the under for me. 7 o'clock here. Last game in the 7 o'clock time slot. We're going to Carolina, Raleigh. Watch out, chokery. It's the Hurricanes playing the Stars in a great matchup here. Dallas. Perhaps some best value bet here you get for them, plus 110 on the money line. Over under is 6.5. We know about the talent. We know about the goaltending. We know about the Stars, the winners of 4 of the last 5 here, only losing to Anaheim, surprisingly. Hurricanes, they're on back-to-back losses here. So could you say they're due for a win at home against a good team?
Yes, they are. And I saw Frederik Andersen is going to miss most of the rest of the regular season. I forgot what the injury was. I see Kochetkov is banged up.
Lower body out indefinitely,
okay,
it says.
Yeah, wow. Jeez.
That's tough.
I was all set to take the Hurricanes, but I'm going to take the Stars just because of that. I think puts them in a little precarious situation. So I think the Hurricanes, Spencer Martin, I'm just not sure here. So I'm going to say Dallas 4-2, Duchesne hat trick, Tony pumped.
That's actually right, dude.
Under.
Yeah, Spencer Martin getting in there. Jake Ottinger, dude, the shutout, second of the year. Why not? We've seen the Carolina Hurricanes struggle sometimes with some of the offense. So yeah, Stars and the shutout. Let's fucking go, dude. Next game here, moving along. 7:30 time shot. The Battle of Canada Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa, dude. The Senators taking on the Flames. It is getting cold in Canada, dude. The Northern Front. Calgary plus 140.
You were all over Molly Walker's Twitter.
All right.
-5. Edmonton went to dinner. I saw it. Okay.
All right, dude. The Senators here taking on the Flames. I mentioned the Flames at plus 140. Hold the phone a little bit there. That's interesting odds. Over under 5.5. Vegas knows Wolf Ullmark playing well. Flames are winners of 4 of the last 5. They're on the 4-game winning streak. Senators are losers of, I believe, 6 in a row now. Which is pretty interesting here. Are the Flames going to be torching the Senators here tonight?
We're waving Brady Tkachuk to New York, okay?
Come on over.
The Flames, they beat us, so why not beat the Senators? Huberdeau, back from the dead, 3 assists. Calgary, 4-1 in Ottawa. Flames in the under. Tkachuk is coming home.
Love the call there. I say Jonathan Huberdeau gets the Hattie Boom Batty. Rasmus Anderson, maybe another goal there. And yeah, let's make it 5 in a row for the Flames. Why not, dude? Flames and the over there. Let's go now. Still 7:30. The Islanders, dude. Oh my God, Brian. I don't know if you saw their loss over the weekend, blowing it to St. Louis. I think it was late too in the third period. They gave some goals there. Classic, dude. Islanders here hosting the Red Wings. They're -150 on the money line, so Detroit plus 130. Watch out, dude. Over under is 5.5. What do you think here?
I like I've been telling you, I want to see a Rangers-Islander playoff series. But the way they're playing, it's hard to see that. By the way, maybe that was St. Louis. They beat them last time out 3-1.
I meant Detroit. It was the last game against Detroit. Yeah.
Yes.
They scored within 10 seconds left in the third period. It was 1-1. They blew it. They blew it.
I am going to say Larkin, a goal. First period, only goal of the game. 1-0 Detroit and the under. Another tough one in Elmont.
I totally agree Totally agree with that one, dude. I think it will be Larkin, the lone goal scorer, but I say it comes in the third period. Just a little extra to the Islanders. They lose 1-0 to the Red Wings. Let's keep it going now. 3 games left, 8 p.m. We're going to Minnesota. The Wild taking on the Jets here at the XL Energy Center, St. Paul, Minnesota. Winnipeg -220. Minnesota even. Interesting there. Over under is 5.5. Obviously, Minnesota has been running wild. They just lose the shootout to Calgary. Jets just lost to Nashville 4-1. Maybe a little bit of reset for them, though. But what do you foresee happening here?
Yeah, this is tough, Tony. But I guess I'm gonna go with Minnesota. I think a little coming back to life for the Jets here, coming back to reality, I guess you could say. And you did mention the tough loss to Calgary, but I think they bounced back here. And I think beat the Jets. I'm gonna say 4-2. So it's gonna be the Wild and the under.
Wow, dude. Wild and the under. Wait, 4-2?
Yeah.
This is the over.
5.5?
5.5, yep. I mean, I like the Wild call here. Fuck the Jets. Doesn't matter what sport it is. Give me the Wild here. I'm going to say the under, though. Hellebuck, Gustafsson, good goaltenders. Kaprizov, I think, was talking with some injury. He's back tonight, I believe. So give me 2 goals and assists for him. Wild win this one. And the under, I said 2-1. 2-1, let's fucking go. Next game, final 2 games here, 10 o'clock. Speaking of the Ducks, dude, the Honda Center in Anaheim, California. Seattle, the Kraken coming in here, trying to take care of the Ducks. Seattle -150 here. Watch out the value, plus 130 for the Ducks, dude. If you want a little dog here. Over-under is 5.5. Both teams coming off of losses here. Both teams also winners of 3 of their last 5. What do you think, dude? Do you think the Ducks are flying together here?
Dostal with a shutout, 2-0.
Wow.
Terry, both goals. Ducks in the under, rocking at the Honda Center.
Love that, dude. I'm going to say the Ducks here scoring bonanza. Joey Decord pulled after the first period, giving up 4 goals, dude. Final score here, Ducks 7, Kraken 3. Last game here, we're going 10:30. Another fan favorite here for Brian as the San Jose Sharks battle it out for Californian rights here against the LA Kings. The Sharks 6-12 here. They're taking on, as I said, the Kings, who are 11-7-3. Pretty interesting there. The Kings, a hefty -250. Not much value there. 5.5 is your over/under. San Jose just had their Legends game over the weekend. Joe Thornton, okay. Patrick Marleau. Any juice there for the Sharks? They biting tonight.
They're biting.
Stop.
They're biting, Tony. Just when you think you can count them out, they're back. They're back. They're back. They're back. I'm going to say the Sharks 3-2 overtime. And we're going to say Mikael Granlund. Not 1, not 2, but 3 goals, including that game winner in overtime. Sharks biting the Kings and the under.
Actually, pretty interesting. Last time these two teams faced each other, the Sharks did win 4-2, but I don't care. Josh B, I don't care at the -250 on the money line. It's the mortgage on the Kings. The Kings for the reason, dude. Give me Kopitar, give me Kemp, give me Quentin Byfield, dude. Give me all these guys scoring. Sharks, 1 lone goal by Mikael Granlund. But the Kings win this one 6-1, dude. Kings and the over,
and
Brian.
just like that, your Monday night frozen frenzy. Rangers get it done. Don't want to hear it. That's it, right?
You'll not see me tomorrow if they don't.
Yeah, you won't see me either.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Hands in the pockets.
So yeah, that was crazy. Your mother says hello,
Hi,
hello,
Mom.
hello, hello. I was just gonna mention before we wrap up, Maverick McNeely winning the last official event of the PGA Tour season, the RSM. Joel Damon just enough to retain his PGA Tour card for next year. Had a
Good for him.
beer post tournament, popped, riled, but good to have him, back in the mix for sure. Patrick Reed winning in Hong Kong, first victory in 3 years. So congratulations to him.
Hong Kong, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like I said, we got a couple tournaments here, unofficial team events, this and that. But the next time we tee it up, it's going to be in Kapalua.
Are there a lot of golfers that come out of China?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know specifics with
Right.
China, but I just know there's a bunch of Asian golfers on tour.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's kind of spaced out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, it kind of crazy though that that's it for the official PGA Tour season.
Did you golf at all over the weekend?
People were out there, but
Really?
we were passing by the course, me and Sam, and I was just saying
Nothing says just like F it, like I'm going to go anyway.
no, because it's just every time I've done it, like when it's cold, oh, dude, it'll still be.
It's
no,
not?
It's not. It's not fun being cold. Who says good morning?
999 Juice. Nelson coming in hot.
Nelson. For a second, I guess maybe I technically need glasses, but I was thinking that might have been Ty Butler, just popping in, saying hello, right?
I mean, as much as I enjoy Nelson, that would have been sweet.
Would have been sweet. But today today was sweet. Hopefully the game later on will be sweet.
I'm nervous, dude.
I was actually talking about the NFL game, but
The Rangers.
The Rangers. I just look at it as you better win. So
The NFL game's gonna be great.
the NFL game will be great.
This is like what you've been looking forward to. This is your Super Bowl.
The horror bowl, dude. I'm telling you, bragging rights, Thanksgiving table. It makes it. You need to win this one. That's all I'm telling you. Okay, so I know you think Ravens better. It doesn't matter. Jim, go kick rocks. Michigan recruiting scandal. First of all, he's gonna win Coach of the Year, NFL. Know it. Second of all, I think the Chargers are a dangerous team.
You think he's a better coach than his brother?
Kind of we always talk about this.
I know,
Though. It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
they haven't progressed. The Ravens. It's the same thing. And Lamar, great. Win another MVP, and then it's if they lose in the playoffs to the Chiefs again. What's it going to be for, right, Tony?
Nothing. Gonna be for nothing.
But I mean, it's crazy because Lamar is having a great year, but it's just until they change the narrative, it's hard for me to change it myself. That's all.
Yeah, no, you're totally and completely right, dude.
But that being said, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in today and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony Michael Renee and Jane Costume merch, .com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Rangers! And we will see you.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.